Levack Goz here with you on 104.5 The Team, and joining us now, he's a host for 98.7 ESPN New York, Larry Hardesty. And Larry, what did you make this week, the news coming down that Ben McAdoo fired, Jerry Reese fired as a part of the New York Giants organization?
Finally! Finally! I mean, how bad do you have to be before you make a move? Look, do I call for people's jobs? No, I don't like to do that, guys, especially during the holiday season. But here's the facts. Sports is about production. Sports is about successfulness. And what the Giants had this year was a problem. For me, Ben McAdoo should not have been the head coach following the Los Angeles Rams game and the San Francisco 49er game because the team was unprepared and the defense quit on him. That's when he should have left. And if he had left then, for the Giant fans, Eli Manning would still have his streak intact.
And you brought up that streak right there. Was that the breaking point? Was that finally what pushed him out, the whole situation involving Eli Manning and that streak last weekend?
You know what's funny? I think in a sense it was, but it wasn't handled the way it was supposed to be. And what Ben McAdoo should have done is when Eli Manning, who they thought that the streak meant so much to, when he said, no, you know what? I don't want to start. If you want to look at the quarterbacks, look at Geno for the full week. Let him go through the full week of preparation. Look at Davis Webb. Let him go through the full week of preparation. Let them start. Then McAdoo said, okay, you're out. He should have went back to John Mara, and then they would have had a different strategy. Maybe John Mara comes back, he talks to Eli Manning, and maybe he could convince Manning to do it the way they had it scripted. The bottom line here is, for the upper management of the Giants, John Mara and crew, they want Eli. They know Eli is on the downside of his career. He's the one that asked the scouting staff to start looking at some of the great college quarterbacks that are supposed to come out this season 2-3 weeks ago. So he knew what he wanted to do. He knew he had to see what was going on with Davis Webb. He knew what was going on with Geno Smith. He didn't really need to see that. I could have told him what was going to happen with Geno Smith. All he had to do was call me. So those were that's what should have happened, and maybe the big snowball that became the big soap opera in the Big Apple wouldn't have happened.
Larry Hardesty joining us here, 98.7 ESPN. You can hear him there on Levack Goz right here on 104.5 The Team. So the rumors are that he's going back to Eli Manning this week. Is that the right call, having Eli Manning start, or should we still see at some point Davis Webb play in the 2017 season?
I think you should still see Davis Webb play at some point this season. I think this is a olive branch to the fans. It is the Dallas Cowboys coming to town after all. You don't want to have – there's going to be enough Dallas Cowboy fans in the stadium anyway on Sunday. You don't need them. You don't need even more of them coming in. So I think this is an olive branch to the fans. Look, here's Eli, but they still need to see what's going on with Davis Webb. Plus, I'm not sold that Eli's going to be here next year, guys.
Wow, so you're not sold he's going to be here. Is that because everything that happened here? Is it the Giants want to move on? What makes you believe that?
I think it's a combination of both. I think in the perfect world they would like Eli to stay, and they would like him to mentor whoever the next young quarterback is. I think that's what they'd want to do. But if you're Eli, how much is this Giants team going to improve for next season? Is there a guarantee? I mean, they won 11 last year. They won 2 as of right now. Does it mean they're going to win 11 or 12 next year? Look, I know the NFL is good for going worst to first, but there's more problems on this Giant team than just the quarterback. He could go to Jacksonville with Tom Coughlin.
That's right.
And have a shot to definitely get to the playoffs next year.
You brought up Tom Coughlin. It's funny now, almost ironic now, that some Giants fans are wishing for Tom Coughlin to come back, and maybe he's on the wish list for some Giants fans to be the next head coach in 2018. Have you felt there in the city what Giants fans are feeling? Who might be on the top of their wish list to be the next head coach of this franchise?
You know, it's funny. They're just so happy that McAdoo and Reese are gone. They're still celebrating that. but a lot of them seem to have this pipe dream of they want Nick Saban. Nick Saban's not coming here. Nick Saban's not leaving Alabama. Look, Nick Saban's king of Alabama. Nick Saban's all that money. You kidding me? He's not leaving. Next guys has been Gruden and Cowher. So those have been the top 3. If I were a betting man, I would still think that one of the folks you'd have to look at is Josh McDaniel up in New England. I mean, here's a guy that's surrounded by winning. He had a bad experience when he was coaching, I believe it was Denver, if memory serves me correct. Okay, and then, he comes back to New England. He's getting yelled at by Tom Brady. Maybe he's ready to leave.
Larry Hardesty joins us here. He's from 98.7 ESPN right there in the city right here now on 104.5, The Team with Levack Goz. And I know you're heading off to the New York Jets practice here in a few minutes. I'm still trying to figure out how we're in a spot now. that the New York Jets aren't the New York Giants. The Jets have been pretty good this season. Why have they been so competitive in 2017?
Well, I think you have to give Todd Bowles a tremendous amount of credit for what he's been able to do with this team. He's been able to mold them. He's been able to give them a sense of purpose. And to be honest, he made some subtle changes to his coordinators and his coaching staff. And I think guys like Kevin Green that's come in here. I think John Morton, who out of New Orleans, has done a nice job with Josh McCown and growing the wide receiver core. You're looking at Robbie Anderson taking the next step. You're looking at the two safeties that they drafted have played well. Yes, they've made mistakes. All rookies do, but you can see them progressing. So I think the coaching level, I think the culture has changed with the Jets. And honestly, if McCown doesn't make a couple of errors late and they find a way to finish in the fourth quarter, it could be 7-5 instead of 5-7.
Absolutely, they could be 7-5. They play the Denver Broncos this weekend. That's a winnable game. At the end of the season, they get the New England Patriots, who by week 17 could be resting starters. Can we not cross off the Jets yet as a potential AFC playoff team?
I mean, numerically, no, they're still into it. But when you look at the Jets, do you see a playoff team? I don't know, because of the way the AFC is. Maybe you do see a playoff team because it's so wide open and everybody's just so on such a roller coaster. But I mean, when you look at what New England's been, you look at Pittsburgh. To me, those are the standard bearers, and the Jets aren't there yet. But for a game, they've shown that they can hang with a lot of teams, and that's the big thing, and that's what you love to see if you're trying to build a team. If you're the Jets.
He is Larry Hardesty. Make sure you give him a listen at 98.7 ESPN New York. Larry, appreciate the time, man. Happy holidays. Hopefully we'll be talking again soon.
Same to you guys. Good to talk to you as always.